welcome to today's video. Now, I appreciate this video is called Big Updates. Now that's because there is some big updates, some small ones, just a few bits about what's going on in general. You would have seen I recently put out like a post just asking what people want, going uphill by the way, what people want from this channel and from other stuff, what they want to see, because I'm struggling a bit, to be honest, with how best to take it forward, how best to keep it going, growing, sharing stuff for free, all of that kind of thing. So I wanted to know what people thought, and if you have any thoughts, please just drop a comment on this video so I can bear it in mind with planning going forward. Next thing to mention is, firstly, thank you everyone for the support over the years, for watching the videos, being on social media, commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that. It does actually mean a huge amount. I know I'm incredibly lucky to get to do what I get to do, and there's a huge amount of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I don't think anyone is particularly privy to, in terms of stuff with brands, testing out products, that kind of thing. And now when I say testing out products, I'm talking about properly testing out products, not saying that it's like you're involved in it some way. I mean properly testing them, and I think that's been something I've enjoyed more and more over the years, testing things out before they get launched. And it kind of started quite early on, I think, with Tailfin, and has happened through the years with Cervelo, with Argon 18 now, with Styrkr as well, to name a few other things. So that's a very cool thing that I'm very proud of. Just shows that apparently I have some credibility, which is quite nice. So yeah, thank you to the brands that have previously supported me and that are continuing to support me as well. This video is a bit of a, I don't know, reflection, I guess. So one of the things that came up is, why is there not so many videos of me actually out riding my bike? Now, it's a few reasons. To be totally honest, making a video all the time when I'm out riding has not been good for my own mental health. It's not been good for my enjoyment of cycling. Cycling has always been, for me, a way to escape things a bit, whether that's doing the big challenges, or just look at this junction, whether that's doing things like the big challenges, but ultimately it's the thing I enjoy doing, and having to make videos while riding started to damage that love of cycling. Now, maybe I should have done it a bit more often, but ultimately I needed to rekindle that love for what I enjoy doing, which is riding a bike, whether that's on my own or with mates, in a group of people, whatever context it is. But that's why there's been less videos, sorry, a technical bit, that's why there's been less videos, I guess, of me just out riding around the Peak District. Now I'm doing one, so yeah, maybe that makes sense of where my head's at right now. I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, we all have jobs, and sometimes our jobs just kind of annoy us a bit, or don't quite go how we want. We find it a bit hard, a bit stressful, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely normal. And yes, part of my job is making videos, and I've had to sort of manage that the best way I possibly can, which has sort of been leaning quite a bit on Jack to help produce stuff, you know, that's more, say, bike fit related, bike builds, you know, informational kind of videos. They're a bit more, I guess, like evergreen content that you could go back and watch. But ultimately, I also really enjoy doing the bike bit stuff because it's quite geeky, and I really enjoy doing the bike build stuff because I just enjoy watching mechanics work and documenting that and kind of like working out the componentry and stuff that goes into it, especially now having, you know, more freedom in terms of componentry and group sets after being sponsored by Shimano for a long time, which was awesome. But now it's given me a bit of freedom to try out other things, which is also awesome. I feel very lucky to be able to do that, and it means that I can therefore be in a position to compare stuff and say what I actually think is quite good and the pros and cons of every single brand out there. Now, there are pros and cons to every one. Nothing is perfect, but everything now is pretty good. Now, I guess one of the things that's important to mention when I talk about sort of my own mental health is that, you know, I have a counsellor that I speak to on a relatively regular basis who's there basically for me to talk through things, and I'm someone that has to quite often just talk, get things off my chest, and having that support really does help. I can't recommend it enough for people. It's so good for your own health more than anything. But yeah, why I'm saying that is because, like, I think last year, like towards the end of the year, when just before doing Grand Guanche Trail, I kind of said to myself, if I didn't perceive that event as a success in some way, shape or form, whether that's, you know, a good position, just feeling good in terms of how I'm riding, whatever it is, I'd actually debated just quitting everything. Now, I know that sounds really, really dramatic, but, you know, that was the situation I was in. I was really, last year, struggling after having a couple of operations, struggling on actually just feeling good physically and mentally on and off the bike. You know, I was in pain from my wrists, which I broke 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now. And the Grand Guanche Trail, to be honest, for me was kind of like if I could get through that not in pain, then we're good to continue. If I can't, then maybe that's the end of it, you know, end of all of this. So the good news is I did get through it not in pain, and I seem to be at a point right now where I'm physically probably the best I've been in quite a while, and mentally way more on top of it than I have been in a while. And the big thing for me of knowing that my wrists are getting better is, look, I'm not wearing gloves. That is a great bonus for me. Not been in this tunnel for a while, and the lighting has been upgraded. It's the one by Ashbourne in the peaks. Like, I can still wear sunglasses inside, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I by no means am trying to make this video a negative video. I'm trying to make it positive, just being open and honest about what's been going on and what's happening. So yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is, yes, I'm incredibly lucky and I love what I do, I really do, but you know, it doesn't matter what your job is, sometimes you're just not feeling it, and it's been a bit of that and a bit of just trying to look after my own mental health, my own anxiety and depression that I have, and look after myself. I'm probably not going to read the comments of this video because there's probably going to be some ones, but I just thought it would be important to kind of give quite a big update on stuff. So that's what's kind of been going on. It's a bit about me and why things have changed a little bit recently, but then the good news is I'm now, you know, trying to plan and do more events and challenges going on for the rest of the year. There was a reason why there hasn't been a lot of that at the start of the year, and that's just because I've been trying to focus on getting fitter, getting stronger, training, recovery, good food, good sleep. Now, I've done the best I can with that. Training's been going pretty good, really. Recovery, kind of good. Sleep, I'm a terrible sleeper, so not as good. But yeah, so things have been going in a good direction of just feeling better and stronger all round actually. The thing that I found so often with doing events is I spend a lot of time training for it. Training goes really well, all the prep goes great, do the event, and then I'm for like 2 weeks. So it almost means you take a backward step instead of actually continually progressing forward slowly. So that's a big reason why there hasn't been so much of it actually. It's just I wanted to focus on training, and that may not be the most interesting thing if you're wanting to watch challenges and adventures and stuff, but it's meant that I now feel physically back to where I probably was or close to before breaking my wrists, which is good, really good. There you go. So there's a really, I guess, famous phrase that stuck with me quite a lot recently, which is Ernest Hemingway talking about how no man is an island. And I guess what that means is, like in solitude, you can't cope. You need that support network, and you need those friends and people around you. And you may think you can for a while, but at some point it does, you know, unravel, I guess. And it's just stuck with me quite a lot recently. I know it's very unlikely that my close mates actually watch my videos. I don't think they do, but it's been a bit tricky because I haven't been able to see them so much, spend time with them. We all live kind of far away, and that ride we did in the New Forest was actually a really good way to see a load of people I haven't seen in a long time. I just need a bit more of that, I think, to be frank. Anyway, on to other things, other news, shall we say. This weekend is Stone Circle, event around the Salisbury Plains and Stonehenge, run by mates of mine who are just some of the nicest people in the world. So I'm going to be down there doing Stone Circle this weekend. You would have seen we did a recce video of the Jester route, I think it was, the shortest route, a couple of months back. So it's quite nice to actually go back and do the actual event this year. I'm aiming to do the Bastard, it's 220 kilometers, big one. And I'm just actually testing the setup that I'm going to use for it, which I'll cover a bit in this video as well. The reason why I'm testing it is there's been a few tweaks and changes to my dark matter. So yeah, it's worth covering that, I think. For a little bit, so I'm going to run through with the dark matter ahead of Stone Circle this weekend. So here it is. It's my Argon 18 dark matter in a size medium, and as I said, there's been a few changes. So the bits that haven't changed: SRAM group set, 42 tooth chainring on the front, and a 10 to 51 or 52 on the back, whatever it is on the big boy rear mech. Tyres are the same, so G1R Pro on the back and an RX Pro on the front. These are the same tyres that I've used for a while now, and as you can see, the tread is still pretty good on them. Stem the same, 90mm in route stem. Top two bags the same, Tailfin smaller one. Seat post is the same, Enve seat post. Saddle's the same, the Gebby MI sleek. Pedals are the same, XTR pedals. Now bits that, the fork is the same, so it's still the Fox 32 TC gravel fork. Now the bits that have changed, I've put on my Enve 3.4s that were on my old dark matter with the orange Chris King hubs. So exactly the same rim, but a bougie fancy hub. Matte Mango, very lovely. Trick stuff rotors, trick stuff pads, wolf tooth valves. Let me think if there's anything else. Wolf tooth here on the seat post collar, that's old, so that's already been there. But the big one is the bars. So I've gone for some Enve AR bars as opposed to the gravel bars. Gravel bars are fantastic, but I just like the flatter top. So I changed them over to a set that were on my old dark matter. So that's now, the old dark matter's now got the grapple bars, and then basically I just swapped them over. Now these are slightly flared, not quite as flared as the previous ones, and they're slightly narrower, which is better for me. Probably against the UCI rules, but these are 40 on the tops and they measure slightly wider on the drops. And I've put the blips here, I don't know if you can see that, so they're just under the bar tape, and then allows me to shift still, one on each side. Really, really nice. And then I've put on a Tailfin, one of the small frame bags, because it just means I could put some snacks in there, some like a jacket in case it gets a bit chilly, anything like that. Only other things I'm going to change really for Stone Circle is I'm going to run a bigger front light. I will keep that small light on, just have it anyway, but yeah, I'll run a bigger front light just because it starts at 4:30 in the morning and it could be dark or sunrisey. So that's basically what I'm going to ride for Stone Circle. The tyres are 50mm in case anyone wants to know. So big tyres, suspension forks, aero bars and a bit of storage. And I'm pretty happy with that setup. So yeah, let me know what you think. All the way down the High Peaks Trail. That's an amazing descent. Because I want to stay at the gravel, I'm now going all the way back up that monster descent. I don't think it shows how steep this is, but it's a proper punchy one, and there's like 3 of them to get back up to the High Peaks Trail. Whew. I'm 81k in now, 3.5 hours of riding on mainly sort of trails like this. Bike feels great actually. The changes were good changes, small ones but good changes. Got another 2.5 hours to do. I think I'm going to go all the way to the top of Tissington Trail and then potentially back down it. I haven't quite decided yet, but yeah, 2.5 hours to go. Just got to the top end of Tissington and now turn back round. Well, I'm on High Peaks, Tissington, that bit. Turn back round to go back down it, it's like 30k. And it shows how strong the wind was. I'm just like basically freewheeling at 40 kilometers an hour. This is well worth getting to the end to go back down it at the end of the day. It's all slightly downhill back into Ashbourne. Could be quite fun.